Hi everyone, from the mountaintops of Lemuria, greetings of aloha and welcome conscious creators in the love and light of Master Guide Kiriel and Kahu Fred Sterling. I can feel the light presence of their truth, trust, and passion. Kahu's light is on my left side and Kiriel is on my right side. Can you see their light forms? Let's take a deep breath and will yourself to see their light particles shining upon you this moment. Remember, take a deep breath. Wow. Thank you. The legacy of Master Guide Kiriel and Kahu Fred Sterling continues. I am Patty Athena Sterling. I will try my heart's best to facilitate and carry on the conscious creator legacy forward, because I know that with our combined effort to consciously move forward, to age our soul, and will shift our world for the better during this great shift in consciousness. And this is exciting for me all of a sudden. You know, it takes my participation of the great shift to new levels of awareness and love. In the collective effort to continue the timeless legacy of Kahu and Kiriel, seated with me today is Sue Bowman. Sue, say wave. And Gail Kanashiro, who is behind the camera. And I hope Gail will come and sit with when she has something to share as well, sit in front of the camera. Thank you, ladies. Kahu's message to me this morning: we are the architects of our world. New thoughts changes and transform your world. Your world thoughts are, let's do it. New thoughts changes and transform your world. Thoughts are evolutionary. So I honor you, conscious creators, in love and gratitude for your presence here and now. Thank you for your love and support and your light and your determination to age your soul during this great shifting times. We are consciously making a difference in our personal world and the human resonance and Mother Earth at this time. Heal the world, heal the self, heal the world. That's our motto here at the Honolulu Church of Light. And one heart, healing one heart at a time. Today's topic is dimensional cycles merging on the planet. It's clear to me that the fourth dimensional cycles merging on this planet is pushing us to heal on all four bodies and expand our awareness to new thoughts that will open and enter new doors. So as we close the door to the old, our thoughts are what we will be our thoughts are what will be experienced. So we must be very conscious of our thoughts. Our thoughts, negative or positive, it is what is. That is what I got from reading and praying over and meditating over what the dimensional cycles merging on planet Earth means. So what is your thought is what will be. So let's all be careful of that. That's why we're called conscious creators. This topic was inspired by Kahu and Kiriel for the purpose of raising our awareness on the importance of being conscious creators and in the passion for change. Healing happens, which alters our journey to embark on a new cycle of needing to understand what is occurring with us on the cellular level that transforms our physical world. Dimensional cycles merging on planet Earth, we conscious creators should have an understanding of the cycles that's moving us along. Are you sensing that your healing cycles are moving more quickly than before? I'm thinking it is because we are becoming more aware of the cycles of life on Earth. Whether or not we are conscious of it, it is or not, it it is indeed happening. It is positively affecting us on a cellular level. Even more so if we are consciously aware of what's going on. Last month's topic, Weaving Cycles with the Sixth Sense, brought expanded awareness on all four bodies. At this event, I know that the eternal loving light energy of Kahu Kiro will be weaving into our consciousness, and consequently healing is occurring at a cellular level. I hope that the great works of Kahu and Kiro continues to serve you in your effort to bring forth your own Lemurian legacy and share it with others with confidence. I know that this month's topic will also shift your world to prepare for the changes ahead. In the book, Kiro, Lemurian Legacy for the Great Shift, Kiro says, in defining cycles, understand that absolutely everything you can think of is a result of cycling particles. Wow, that's interesting. For instance, the Earth's plane revolving around your sun star is a cycle. The Milky Way moving around the central sun is a cycle. And a burst of energy leaving the central sun, traveling through time and space to arrive in this very year, creates an opening force for another cycle. Kiro says, it has been me thinking that the masses like to define the vibrations of cycles simply, such as lunar cycles or 28-day cycles of a female world. I think you'd want to go deeper. There is so much more to discover about cycles that it would take a book in itself. For now, just let me remind you that to fully comprehend where you are now, you need only to search for the unfolding cycle. This may help you understand where incarnations that have preceded you have gone. In that, you might just get a better idea of where you are likely to be going. On your planet this time is a weave of formulating the cycles of the third-dimensional thought process. The planet is an example of two cycles merging on certain levels. Isn't that exciting? Our planet is an example of two cycles merging on a certain level, the cycle of your current vibration and that of the Lemuria is at higher and highly evident. The Lemurian vibration was more aligned with the fourth dimensional evolution. Again, I remind you not to get overly involved in the number of the dimension, for it is sure to confuse more than enlighten. But if you take this into meditation, I think you'll get more and more information from it and about it. The Lemurians lived their lives in the world of concentrated thought. Can you imagine that? Concentrated thought. Their numbers for thought manifestation was equal to the number 4. Hence, using the Lemurian numerology that has been as the fourth dimensional reality. The connection between the third and fourth dimensional world will soon be evident. Even though you currently discover much of your world thinking in the duality of the third dimension, you will soon know that your thoughts form every fiber of your journey. Can you imagine that? Imagine that, because that's coming true. It is true. You will soon know that your thought form every fiber of your journey. And in that you will see the bond between the worlds. Wow. The Lemurians' weave of the fourth dimensional cycle is so electrified with magnetic impulses that it allows for evolution at a tremendous rate of awakening. To read more, look into the book Kiro, Lemurian Legacy for the Great Shift. It's in chapter 9 and shifting into the new cycles. Don't do this shift without reading this book, Lemurian Legacy for the Great Shift. It is an honor for Kahu and Kiro. It is an honor for Kahu and Kiro's legacy to take part in today's discussion. we each may have a different understanding of the topic, I would like to invite you in the internet world to share your thought. I know that you know I know that you have for I'm sorry. I know that you know have for sure that new thoughts will indeed challenge your current way of living. I know that's happening to me. My old thoughts is challenging me to get rid of them and form new ones to adhere to my own journey. But be assured that those new thoughts changes things. That's evolution at work. One thing we have in common understanding is that a common understanding that this life journey is all about growing our love for self. In that self-love comes healing that releases the blocks from releasing your truth, trust, and passion to live joyfully with the chaos surrounding us. Thank you for the privilege of your time to be with us, to evolve your love and light. It takes a community like ours, like-minded people, to shift humanity into the fourth light. Thank you for your commitment to illuminating your truth, trust, and passion to journey onwards during this great shift in consciousness. The journey of self-love is always about healing the four bodies: the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. So we do this. We do this journey, earth journey, to evolve our soul. Together we continue our quest as conscious creators to get a deeper understanding of the healing powers of the collective oneness of heart. As we collectively stand in our truth, trust, and passion, we shift our personal world and the planet Earth. Wow. Since Kauhu's physical departure, I have had a deeper understanding to this truth. What we see with our physical eye isn't everything. Take your five senses and weave them together until they magically thread called the sixth sense. I have, if I may, I would like to guide you into a meditation at this time. So if every one of you would take 5 deep breaths. And feel your planet merging the two cycles, the third and the fourth. The cycle of your current day vibration is the third dimension, and that of Lemuria, and the fourth is that of Lemuria. That is, you can feel it now. Your thoughts compel you to move from one cycle to the next, yet always your cellular consciousness is the safety of remembering the part of the cycle that you just left, and the cycle of remembering the safety of it, knowing that you cannot be hurt in the light of the Creator. The cycle of life that you live in, the third dimension, is a cycle based on balancing duality. So now take another deep breath as you imagine a cycle that gives you the opportunity to take your 5 senses: smell, touch, taste, feel, and sight, all of which you have brought here to this beautiful planet called Earth, and weave them together until they form a magical thread called the sixth sense. Then imagine what you could develop. Imagine that you could develop the future rather than just see it. Or imagine that you could recognize the lessons that you've learned from the past rather than dwelling on it. Imagine feeling no regrets, no pain about the past, not feeling as though, oh, I want to forget that part. Imagine recognizing that every step you made was in service to the God Creator, you'd understand the sixth sense that you've woven together, and in this, you'll understand the time of Lemuria, where the heartbeat of Mother Earth has a way of life, not a curiosity. Was a way of life, not a curiosity. So check your heartbeat with Mother Earth. Check your heartbeat with Father Sky. Check your heartbeat with the love of the Goddess Light. And know today that those hearing my words enter a new cycle of life, a cycle of awakening to the threads of the six senses, which allows you to experience the merging of the third dimension and the fourth dimension together, where you get to control your thought processes in love. And take a deep breath and return to your focus on this topic, dimensional merging of cycles on the planet Earth, the third and the fourth. So that meditation is from this book, Chapter 9, by Master Guide Kirill. Did you like that? I love the weaving part of our five senses, and then bringing them together and to form a magical thread called the sixth sense. You know, we did this topic last month, and since then I have my life, I think, have shifted, because I'm more aware of the sixth sensory experience now. So I hope you take the time to read and meditate on it, because it offers so many gifts, or not gifts, offers you so many to know your abilities. Okay, so we did that. So together, let us continue our quest as conscious creators to go deeper, to get a deeper understanding of the healing powers of the collective oneness of one. As we collectively stand in our truth, trust, and passion, we shift our personal world and the planet by merging our third dimensional thought process of duality into the fourth dimension. So, how is that meditation for you guys? Sue? Any thoughts of what you read, or as you prepared for this program, any thoughts come to mind?
What stood out for me in that meditation, when you kept saying imagine this, imagine that, so it's like going into that space beyond the so-called regular way of looking at life, or what's presented in my life, what I see in my life. If I see something in the news, I'm going, that doesn't, like it's some crime or something, and I go, well, imagine what would happen if, go to the positive, if that person got the support that would help him or her through that. So it's moving away from the fear. I know I went through this last night, moving away from the fear that something bad happened. So to the imagine that now this situation is bringing light to this so-called societal problem. Now people are getting together to make sure that they take care of the problem, that they take care of the needs of the students and things like that. So that's where I'm seeing an example of the dimensional shifting of the old way of thinking to this new way of what I would call Lemurian way of being more compassionate and more loving and more creative. So that's an example of what happened last night. But I like what I underlined is that you need only search for the unfolding cycles. So with the belief system that we live in cycles, which is for our evolution, that brings to mind that there's always good in a situation. So the unfolding cycles. So rather than go into the worry, then go into imagine. Imagine this. And so imagine different outcomes. Imagine that's more peace. Imagine there's more compassion. Imagine that there's solution. So that I kept hearing that during the meditation. Imagine. So and seeing the cycles, what I thought of, what I read, search for the unfolding cycles. In my prayer at night, and in a 5-breath self-healing meditation, I pray that I will understand my Lemurian legacy and understand how I can live my life in the goddess light more and more. So that's what I see is the unfolding. Rather than just say, oh, I want to heal, and then
That's
what's
true.
the emerging, what's the unfolding? Okay, part of the healing, like last month, or in the Sunday service is Kahu's words were to love yourself enough to heal.
Yeah, and what I got from preparing for this time is about the merging of the third dimension, because I go through the moon cycle. 1 week before the moon cycle, because I'm empathic, I can feel the energy, the radical energy that not only me but people around the world, you can, and just the they get really, antsy, and I feel that, and I know I said to myself, I don't want to do that anymore. When I consciously said, I don't want to go through a whole week before, like 5, 6, 7 days before the full moon, to go through this, ups and down emotional roller coaster, because I'm empathic. But then when I decided that I'm not going to go to that anymore, but I could feel something, like the full moon was on the 24th, right, of this past. I could feel something churning, something big was about to happen. And I'm going, oh no, did I forget something? Did I forget an anniversary? Did I forget a birthday? But there's something was pushing me to February 24th, and that was the full moon. But then when I decided that I was not going to be part of this crazy, tipsy-turvy emotional roller coaster before the full moon, I didn't get much of it, and I wasn't afraid of it like I used to. Go, oh God, here we go again. I used to mark the calendar, 6 or 7 days. I go, okay, I'm going to stay home this day, or I got to watch myself. But then, even though I said that before, I was caught in the wave of this energy of chaos. And I told myself this month, because of the sixth sense, I decided to heighten my 5 senses and thread the magical thread of the sixth sense. So now I feel I'm learning to be a 6th century being instead of 5 century 5 senses being. So that helps a lot. So you out there, if I tell you, take a look at heighten your 5 senses together, and weave that magical thread of the 6th sense. And I promise you, your life would get more clear, and you get more things done. It's a magical thing. And now we're talking about the dimensional cycle, the dimensional cycles merging on planet Earth, and that's in order for me to understand what the dimensional cycles merging on planet means, is you got to have all 6 senses. in line for you. So that's the magic part of what's happening to us on planet Earth. Right? I think so. How about you, Gail?
Yeah.
You said you had a rough time this past week because of certain conditions in your everyday life. She's coming. She's coming. Yeah. So we have our daily routine in our life that gives us all this topsy-turvy kind of emotional roller coaster. But can you imagine when you thread that sixth sense in, I think you know in advance what you have to do, right? So your experience of this past week before the full moon cycle?
Yeah, I try not to think about those things,
But it
and
but it still happens,
yeah,
right?
it still happens. But when it happened, I know I don't need to be in stress or how do you say it? Sometimes I get a hard time explaining something. So, anyways, yeah, just that we're going to have a birthday party and with 150 people, and it's happening like on Friday. So my daughter, I think she's like superwoman, because she'll just say, "I can do it. We can do it. We just have to be focused, and that's it." And it's happening this Friday, and I'm the type that, oh no, this and that, and there's always either somebody or someone or something that brings me right back to the focus, and that's like a cycle happening, because it's I always think cycles is love, all about love.
It is.
Yeah, and we're brought here, or we chose here to come to planet Earth to know about love, to feel love. And that's, sometimes we just say, oh, that's, trying to tell all of us, not to say don't worry, you gotta worry a little bit, but it's not as intense, and it becomes less and less and less, if that worry feeling and things like that.
I heard somewhere, I heard that instead of worrying, use the time to worry and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Use that time that you put worrying. I used to do that a lot. Worry this, worry that, and then all of a sudden I heard that this somebody said, "Stop worrying. Use that precious time to just do it." And I'm going, "Wow, that makes sense."
Get up and go.
Yeah, and your daughter is that way.
Yeah.
So I think it makes more sense unless worrying is, we get something out of worrying and being in a depressed mode and stuff. But hey, that's part of our cycle, right?
Yeah.
So if we're aware, will next month, when the 7 days before the full moon, will you change your attitude or just flow with it
Yeah.
as you did the last time?
Yeah.
You will just flow with it, or you will consciously change it to say, okay, the full moon, the 5 days before full moon, I'm not going to be, in a state of radical state of awareness, and because that worked for me, so that kind of freed me from from being not liking myself during that period. So
That is a definite dimensional shift by recognizing that there's a pattern of saying or feeling like I don't like myself, I'm not good enough. And then as you caught that, that was the going into this, jumping to the next cycle and evolving. So that since last month, that's the kind of stuff that I've been becoming more aware of. And 5 days before the full moon, I was getting very emotional. I was crying a lot more and being sensitive. And I go, "What's going on? You know, what's happening?" And I go, "Oh, full moon." And then at that moment, I said, "Okay, full moon's coming. All these emotions are coming up." And then I remembered, I guess Reverend Alice said, the full moon helps to illuminate your life. And yes, it is emotional because of the water, so-called water sign and thing. But then at that point, when you go, I noticed that, oh, I'm going into that space again. And I go, no, I want to not do that anymore. And saw it as, okay, there's a pattern that I had, call it worry, call it, fear. And I said, no, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go into meditation right now. I'm going to do prana breath.
So
and all
let
of
me
that.
ask
so that's
you.
a dimensional
So let me
shifting.
ask you this: would it be worth it for you to mark your calendar and say, okay, you look at your calendar and you say, I'm going to be more centered at 5 days before the full moon, or just, and not because you said you weren't aware that it was 5 days before, but wouldn't it help you, to save your energy to be more productive those 5 days instead of being in that state of unconsciousness of just going with the flow of what you normally do 5 days before the full moon? How does that change your life? So think about that, I think for females especially, Kahu used to say when I got that way, it was about a while back, it was, oh, it's almost full moon, right?
Oh yeah, I do that too.
But then, and I go, so that's the cycle that we must also understand, and we must move away from it, because what's coming up is so exciting. What you think is what is. That's, to me, that's the exciting part about dimensional cycles merging on this planet Earth. The fourth dimension, I know Kahu and Carol used to talk about that. The fourth dimension, the light, the photon light is merging. And I'm going, I didn't really understand that, so I put it on the shelf. And not until now I realized that, hey, yeah, there's some truth to what they were saying, but they were preparing us to be, now that I know, I'm excited, because if my thought creates my reality, wow, can you imagine? We can heal anything, everything. And I've since last month, being aware of my 6th century beingness, my healing process has gotten shorter. So to me, that's the advantage of knowing, being consciously aware of the cycles that's having an influence on our daily lives. It's amazing. It's amazing. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's in the chat room.
Well, later on in the chapter, and I highlighted it, the question about the female cycles and lunar cycles, and Master Kirill stated the lunar cycle does not have a direct bearing, not on the female, but on the goddess light. So then that's what I thought of, because then the emotions rises, And if I believe that it's in time for me to look at my life and the unfolding cycles, then rather than being in the fear, goes, oh no, there I go again, I'm crying, but shifting the focus of, okay, emotions are coming up for me to look at and what I can release and move beyond. And go into the goddess light of understanding what's going on, and realizing that, oh, this last week, the last few days went smoother as I focused on that. So I congratulated myself and I went, oh, you just went on to the new cycle of understanding. So that's the one thing. And I just want to say is, for some reason I didn't get the email that Karina usually sends out for the full moon meditation prior to the full moon. So I missed that. Usually I get it and I go, oh yeah, I'm preparing myself to be in light, not fear. And then when I started getting emotional, I go, what happened? So I went on her website and go, oh God, I'm there. That's right.
So
I missed that.
why the full moon meditation? So could you change that a little bit and be consciously aware that what's coming up, so this is what you have to do,
Yeah.
instead of depending. I think your four bodies, when you start thinking differently, it will change the cycle of your body process. And all what you think what is, so all four bodies is in alignment, whether it's positive or negative. That's the coolest part about what's happening to us on this plane, when the fourth dimensional energy is merging. And then, because the fourth light is about thought, right? Can you imagine? So you cannot blame anybody when your life is crap, because hey, that's what you thought.
That's true.
Right. And it's not about, to me, it's not about, ooh, what do I need to heal? It's about, okay, I can change my thought, and that is healing. So instead of, oh my God, go to the past and go, this is what happened to me in the past, therefore, this is who I am. And so instead of, we know all that, why don't we can just close the door to the past and say, okay, we can change things now. We don't have to go into the past anymore, and say, okay, so I'm feeling this, I can change this. My surroundings doesn't look so well, but I can change it to what I want it to be, what I want to be. So that's, to me, that's the most exciting part about activating our six senses, heightening our sixth sense.
Sue had just read about what Master Carol said about the moon.
The goddess light,
And
lunar cycle.
he puts it in the sense of the goddess light.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Continue the thought of the goddess light.
Creating your thought in the goddess light.
I mean, I don't know, I probably read that and I sort of skimmed over it maybe, which I shouldn't, but
No, it's your awareness.
yeah.
You've just gotten a new awareness. So
So,
you weren't ready for that yet, but now you are.
yeah, that's amazing. I like that. And yeah, well, I'm going to say something right here, but eventually I want to do what we call a book club. So
Wow.
get-
Did
get
you
your
hear
book-
that,
get your
everybody?
books and we can talk more about what Master Carol's really meant, or
What, don't you think this is kind of a form of a
This
book
is-
club?
yeah, this, and there was another I think every one of our programs are like that. It's all about the healing love. And anyway,
That's how we grow our love. You know, Master Carol in Cabo always says, grow your love. I know in the past 2 years, every time I complained to him, he would tell me, grow your love. I
that's
said,
in our prayer.
yeah, grow your love. I go, okay, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Oh, okay.
Your only answer is grow your love. You know what? That's profound, right? Grow your love. You don't like what you're experiencing, grow your love. Yeah.
But as you keep saying it, it's, what does that really mean? And then the thought was, release the judgment of self.
That's one of
It's
them.
kind of like, oh, okay, because then I tend to go into the self-judgment. Oh, I didn't do enough.
Your goddess light.
And then I go,
Goddess light.
oh, go into the goddess light. Well, so Peter would always say, what would you do? What would you say to you if you were in that same situation? Because he would say, you would give recommendation advice to the parents and other teachers. So what would you tell yourself? So in another sense, like, wow, it's like, and as I said that, the goddess light, I'm starting to believe it more, is always with me. It's just that it gets covered up with the worry, the fear, the judgment, whatever.
Well, what about this? What if you go in and out of goddess light? Because here's what this is what I believe. Okay, we love to play because majority of the people are still in the third dimensional way of doing things. Our relatives, our friends. So we tend to move towards that side, to be like them. But we don't have to do that. You're in and out of goddess light. When you know things are not working for you, and especially if you think you're on the goddess journey, to know goddess, you're out of goddess light. You're out of goddess, you're out of the goddess world. So it's not that we're all there all the time, because when we're out of it and something happens to us, and that brings the awareness up for us to heal.
The situation.
Right.
Starts to.
And then we remember, yes, I'm not in the goddess light. That's why the problem, the answer to the problem is not within the duality spectrum of the third dimension. So we understand that, there's a light bulb. He said, yeah, let's move back into the goddess light.
Yeah.
And there is all our answers, right?
Right. I believe that.
And isn't the goddess light in the actuality of now?
Yeah.
When you're in your goddess light, you know so much more, right?
The knowingness or the I know is blinking the light.
Yes, yeah. So that's the coolest part of what's happening to us in this. It's in our days,
And it's the trust, though.
Ah,
The truth is we are goddess, and we go in and out, as I said. But then the trust is that we will, I want to say, slip back into the goddess light more readily than in the past. And then the passion is that we are passionate about saying and masterminding and praying that I will live my life with the goddess light in my heart. And so then recognize that, go, that wasn't a goddess thing to do. This is a joke I do with myself. And go, that's not a goddess. That wasn't a goddess thing to do,
I have another opinion on that. It's not about trusting the goddess. You're just in it or not.
Yeah.
You don't. It's when you're in the goddess light, you know you're in it, and when you're there, everything that you think of from that point, from in that within that sphere of Goddess light, is what is so, and it and it's the truth, and it's the trust, and it's the passion that's all there. You don't even have to think about it. You just do it. Like your daughter says, don't worry about it. Just do it. So that, to me, yes, if that's where you think you need to trust the Goddess light, think again. If the Goddess light is all that is, and you had experienced it before, why would you question whether you trust it or not? That's just for
Why
you.
would I not trust it?
Because it's like.
It's the
sorry.
past. It's the past conditioning. It's the past habit.
Yeah, past habit. But you cannot bring the past habit in the
Yeah.
moment in the actuality of now in the Goddess light. It won't allow that.
And then so there's that there's that moment of what you just said and being back in the Goddess light, and this, I'm going to call it a gap. And so recognizing that there is a gap, because when I said, oh, there I go, I'm in the fear and all the emotions are coming up, and then realizing, oh, I don't have to be afraid of these emotions coming up. I don't have to be afraid because I know how to switch that. And that's where the Goddess light come back into the forefront.
You could see it that
So
way.
the choice, and then realizing. So, and then, somewhere I'm trying to find the quote, but then in looking at what happened and then realizing, okay, release the judgment of good or not good and go, what can I learn from it now? And he said it several times. Master Kira wrote about it several times in this chapter. Okay, see what happens, recognize it, and say, what can I learn from it? Because you can't change it. You can't change. I used to think I could change it, by thinking that the positive, but then what can I learn so next time I won't go there?
Okay.
That's just my
Yeah, it's a process.
Unfolding unfolding the cycle. Otherwise I could be in that cycle and spiral. But in the spiraling there's movement. That's what
Yeah, there's always movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
are you?
how long do I want to?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like you think you're moving, but it's like that rat in that cage, and it's going round and round and round and round, not moving. But you can stay there until So
I
we
keep
can
going
see.
back to the phrase "search for the unfolding cycle." So that's the thing. Search. So Kahu had written several times about attune yourself to the ancient wisdom embedded deep within your cellular memory.
Yeah.
And that's the Goddess light. That we talked about being the Goddess light, or our Lemurian legacy. And so as we go through our human life, then we recognize the unfolding of the cycles. And so that's where my thoughts have been. How am I unfolding the cycles and recognizing the cycles? And then making the choices to be living my life more in the Goddess Lemurian way.
That's a start.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody giving their opinions?
No, they're just putting I like it.
Yeah.
at the start.
So with what I've discovered, oh my God, things just shifted in my life since I've learned to thread the sixth sense. Because we're just having the five senses. Yes, I mean you heighten your five senses, but when you thread them, it's magical because things get clearer. clearer, and all the so-called stuff that I've been dealing with is like, all of a sudden it just melted away, and I'm in love, you know? And it's like, remind me of Kahu. Every time I would complain to him about something, he would say, so what? What are you going to do about it? What do I have, I don't need to worry about that. And, and I'm going, don't you care? That's always my response. Don't you care? And he would say, but that's not what it's about. It's not about whether I care or not. It's about letting that person work through their journey. I would say when I saw my relatives hurting, I said, why don't you talk to that person or heal that person? He goes, not until they come to me and say they want healing. And he goes, then I would say, don't you care? And he would say, that's what I do. Until they come to me and say they want my help, it's their journey. And in that journey, they become wiser. So I go, whoa, okay. So he would say to the people that keep repeating old patterns, he goes, that's what they want to do. And it's them. It's up to them. They must be getting something from being on the treadmill or that round and round thing. He said, otherwise, they must be enjoying it. I said, how cruel of you, Kahu. He said, that's the truth. When they want to heal, they will get off of it. And he's always right. He's always right. And especially since he's been gone from the earth plane, he communicates with me often. And I appreciate his mission more and more today. So I'm so grateful. But I still wish he was with me in the physical plane because I want to hug him. But then he said, oh, but you have other people to hug. So, and so that's, so what they picked the subject, Kahu and Kirill. Okay, to me, that's a sign that we're coming to a new cycle in life, especially 2024. We got to get ready for 2025. And the more you know about the cycles of life, and you don't have to be, in the duality of things, and the more we'll get more joy out of this life. And we can be in the midst of chaos, but we will always be at the right place at the right time. And he said, what he says is, don't worry about other people. Don't worry about the other people. Because that worry energy goes to them and makes it more, it strengthens their worry. So that makes sense, right? So she said, just love them. Just love them. To me, that makes more sense. I understand it now, but before I didn't. So isn't that cool? I'm just elated about what's coming up, coming up for us light workers or goddess light. And to know, I thought I knew what goddess light was about. Not really so, not until I wove my sixth sense together, my five senses, heightened my five senses together, and thread that magical thread of the sixth sense, that my awareness just blossomed. So I wish all of you could do that. And you can do it. You can do it through your 5-breath self-healing meditation. You ask the right questions, and you don't worry about, close the door to your past, and be in the moment, the actuality of now. And in the goddess weave, you're gonna have a wonderful life. I know that. So So that's where I am today, and so if you are in an old pattern of worrying about this and worrying about that, better change it a little bit more, because that weave, that that merging, the dimensional cycle merging with the earth plane, it's of that says your thought is what is what is. Whether it doesn't know whether it's positive or negative. If you're going with negative, you're going to worry. Hey, that cycle will repeat itself until you change it. You change it. And that's what I'm so excited about to tell you, all of you, those listening, be conscious of your thought. That's why we're called conscious creators. And be in the I know, the actuality of now, the I know, the goddess light, or whatever you want to call it. That's the magical place. That's where miracles happen. And you become to know that you are multidimensional beings. That you can bilocate to the fourth light, to the fifth light, As I do, I meet with Kahu and Kirill every night in my sleep state. And you can do that too. You can do that too. You can meet with someone of your, even if they're still here on the earth plane. You can say consciously before you sleep, I want to meet with so and so's higher self because I want to solve this problem. And magically, yes, you might have to meet with them 3 or 4 nights, but all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you say, I know what to do now, because the energy of the duality has been dissolved. I promise you that. So we have the books. This book, if you are into ancient Lemurian wisdom, this book will awaken you to so much more of who you are. Every one of us will have a different understanding of what Lemuria is about, or what love is about, or what your truth is about. But you know what? It's your truth, and you get to experience it. It doesn't matter in the actuality now. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. All that goes away as long as you know that you and your truth. You don't have to convince anyone. Just love. Isn't that amazing? So, isn't that cool?
It is.
Isn't it an exciting way to live?
Where I live?
Exciting way to live your life all of a sudden?
Oh, yes.
Weave that sixth sense, that magical sense, so you can experience the dimensional cycles merging on planet Earth. So it's exciting. It's exciting. So any more for you? Any more?
No, I'm just thinking, because I highlighted this. Even though the connection between the third and fourth dimensional worlds will soon be evident. So when I originally read that, I'm going, how can I know that that's happening? So I was starting to look for the unfolding of the cycles. And so it's kind of like, an example was, I'm meeting people who are at a point in their life, some in their senior years, some is middle 40s, and it was kind of, so the unfolding of their own cycle was this question inside their heart. There's got to be something more to teaching than where I am now, which was in the public school system. And then, so with that thought of there's something more, they were able to find different ways, a different place for them to teach, where they could teach blending the spiritual with the third dimensional way of teaching. And I just thought, okay, that's a sign that the merging of the third and fourth dimension. And and I realized that in my own history, every time I got to a point as there's got to be something more, a different way of teaching, I found it, and then to the point where, there's got to be something more than just teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic and stuff. And then Kahu says, you want to work at the church. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay.
Which is, it comes when we're ready for it.
Yeah.
It's like, for years, I really didn't understand what the child weave was about. I really didn't understand it. So, but 2 weeks ago, because I think you facilitated our mastermind, and all of a sudden you did something that I couldn't connect to, the child weave, and it was, what I couldn't connect was how fun the child weave was. So I never saw that. The child weave was always always about, I don't know, because I really don't know. I would say, what do you mean child weave? Isn't that the creator weave? Isn't that the artist within you? They're all that. But you know what I was missing is the laughter of the child. And we were in a mastermind, and when I got that, the laughter in the child weave was so precious. Then for me, something bloomed inside me that said, now I know what the child weave is about. It was about happiness. People talk about the child weave, how I really didn't understand. But all of a sudden, the child weave brings happiness into the whole of things. And then all of a sudden, I guess because it was because I weaved my 6 senses in, that I finally opened up to what truly the child weave was about. It's about fun. It's about laughter. To me, that's it. And so that healed a lot for me. And I'm going, wow, this is so cool. Child weave is a lot of, now why didn't I not understand that before? But it had to, because I wasn't ready for it. I was too immersed on, we got to heal this from my childhood. We got to heal this from my childhood. I was persecuted with a child, so I didn't laugh. I was more of a mother to my siblings, so I didn't laugh a lot. But all of a sudden, I had the opportunity to understand a huge part of that child weave that learned to laugh. Amazing, right? So those kind of things is available to us as we understand more about the cycles of life. Isn't that cool? So, the cycles of life. So I'm excited for everyone, if you are tuning in, and I would invite you all to read that chapter 9 on cycles. And even though you don't understand it, it will awaken your cellular consciousness. And as you are ready, and because that cellular consciousness has a knowing, and that will blossom and bring forth your abilities that you have worked with so in your past life. Your ability to heal, your ability to know, and your abilities from ancient times in Lemuria. It is exciting. I'm looking forward to really truly understanding, but we probably won't understand everything, but we can do it one step at a time. The first step is, to me, is to read about the cycles and then weave your five senses together in the magical light, and then thread your the magic thread of the sixth sense, and more will be available to you. Amazing, amazing journey that we're in. So, are we done? Any more?
Any share?
Good. So,
I just found this. If you in the book, it's written that I would only remind you that it is the aim of this work to show the reality that with your current physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies fully intact, you are more than capable of transitioning into a much more vibrant form of evolution. This is page 171. If you see this as a possibility, you might just be encouraged to move at a more rapid rate. So
Yeah.
what happened that when we had the laughter of the child with consciousness, we just evolved at a rapid rate.
yeah.
Since most of you will be taking your current form of embodiment into a new cycle, I feel we went into a new cycle, it will give you a much longer period to enjoy the new experience. Few have ever been gifted with the opportunity to experience the third dimensional way of evolving and then the wonders of the fourth in one single incarnation. Meaning this incarnation now, this is the gift. I'm seeing this is the gift we've gotten, is the weave of the third and the fourth. Still living a human life, but then weaving the cycles of the fourth dimension.
You know how that happens? Because we can still travel on Earth, walk on Earth. But in sleep state, you can go into the fourth light. You can have an experience there in the fourth light. There's another there's another reality there. To me, like when the kids, they play the games. So in my sleep state is an alternate reality, which is to me as real as this reality on the third dimension. And whatever I experience in the fourth dimension, it makes a difference in my walk here on Earth. So don't be afraid to sleep state. Of course, you got to do your 5 breath self-healing meditation, and then you program yourself to go say, hey, I want to go to the fourth light. And you build an experience there. And it's like, that's when Kahu left the earth plane, it was, I didn't want to lose his consciousness. So one night I go, okay, I'll do whatever it takes. I sleep state the fourth dimension, and then there was Kahu and Carol waiting for me, and that experience changed me a whole lot. That I can go there and be with them, and I can still have an earth journey. So I encourage you to say, I want to know what the fourth dimension light is about, the dimension, because there's so much love it has to offer you, and you can build the fourth dimension however you want. It's another alternate reality, and you can meet with other people. They don't have to be dead. You can meet with people that's still here on the fourth light. You just say, I want to meet you there. And you can have an experience that will make a difference in your walk here on earth. It's freedom to know that you exist beyond the third dimensional reality. So that's what you can look forward to. And the more we're happy about that, about our experience here on the in the fourth dimension, the happier we are here walking our earth life. Because we only spend like what? How many hours do we spend awake here? Maybe 15 hours, the max.
About there.
Yeah, and the rest of the time you should go to sleep, right? But in your sleep state, you go into the fourth light or wherever you want to go, and have an experience that will make a difference in your walk here on earth. That's what, to me, what the cycles, what's available to us when dimensional cycles are being merged with our planet. So
As you're talking, I'm feeling the energy of this bowl, the prayer healing bowl. And this is like, I'm thinking like, this is cycle unfolding.
yeah,
Because when I come here and I think, I put light, my green heart light in there, and then I talk to the higher selves of the people who have submitted prayer and healing requests.
right.
And then I say, and then I realize now as you were talking, it's like we're enlightening the bowl to assist the unfolding of these cycles for each person. We're not saying you have to. We provide that safe space for them to feel the light,
Hmm.
and it's the unfolding of their own cycle.
And because you pray to their higher self,
Yeah.
they get more involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because people that send their prayers, they probably don't know to pray to their higher self, to get involved with their healing.
Yeah. So then I wasn't communicating with the higher selves until just a few months ago when I went, duh. I went, oh, I can do this,
Yeah.
So then that's my focus when I come here. And then it's awesome. Now I want to find out what's going on with the people who have submitted prayers, and healing requests. That what kind of dimensional shifting and cycle shifting are they experiencing?
But does it matter? Does it matter?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well,
I know that something's happening. I know I don't have to know it, but there's a part of me that wants to know. A little feedback. Like we got feedback from Susan and how the progress of her granddaughter, and that was very heartwarming to find out that granddaughter's doing much better and things like that. So that was just my own curiosity of wanting to know. But then that was an example of how the cycles of shifting was happening through the prayers that we send, through this prayer and healing bowl. So
yeah.
I guess in some ways that's where trust is coming about. Because, like you say, does it matter?
Come sit here. I don't think they can hear you. Please, because that sounds important.
yeah, I feel that's important.
Something like trust, and you can do a long distance healing and it performed a miracle because it happened. And it's like almost like an everyday experience. It could be a small thing that you need to heal or a big thing. But it really doesn't matter. It's the energy of doing. And that's, to me, really the most important part of it.
You put your whole heart into it.
Yeah, so it's not, oh, I gotta go heal the lungs or whatever. But yeah, you do. But for me, it's like just do it. And wherever that energy goes, you feel good about it. And the feeling is like you were talking about the the child wave, that's the feeling,
Hmm?
you know, and that's what you make the change. The change is essence. Essence is your desire. Essence is your love. So those are the things that matter for me anyway.
Yes.
You know, and like that when I talked about the prayer, you know, I just stood up and went, yeah, you had it all the time, Kahu. I mean, even now, you know, it's like in the seventh dimension maybe already. But the thing is, he showed us a real important thing.
The way, yeah. The prayer, you mean the Beauty's Prayer, and that's available on the HonoluluChurchOfLight.com. Yeah, that's a blueprint of the Goddess way to me.
The first line
Yeah.
is a healing everything. If you
Yeah.
work on it, it's amazing.
So, and yeah, because when I come here, I mean, that's another reality for me because I see so much. You know, I see our energies melding with the spirit world. You know, and I see Kahu and Kirill teaching angels. Sometimes when I come in through at 11:30, I mean, it's full
They're all there.
yeah, they're full. It's like they're trying to want to get in, and then Kahu's teaching. So that's what I do for me when I sleep state. I go there, and I say, okay. But the funny thing is, I have to say, you know, I said, you know, because the feeling is so wonderful there when I'm with Kahu and Carol in my sleep state and with the Goddess light that I say, oh, and I say to myself, okay, I need an escort angel to and from, you know, because it would be so good. It is so good that I don't want to come back, and I don't want to do that because I still have stuff to do here on the earth plane, you know. But that's the way it is. I mean, create a reality out there in your sleep state, and connect with your loved ones, those that had passed and those that's still here. You know, you can solve your problems that way, in love, of course. So isn't that exciting? Are you guys excited?
I am. I was like,
I mean, to me, you're a miracle. Yeah, because you've had the past 2 years has been really rough on you, right? On the physical body, right? But you come to you say the prayer every night, every day, and you come here every night. We energize you, and look, you're blossoming, you know, in your own time. But you have blossomed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, are you excited to stay a little longer?
A little longer.
Oh, there's an answer to that question in this chapter alone. This is actually, I read the whole chapter last month, and when I read it again before today's session, I go, oh, I don't remember that part. Or I go, now I understand this part.
That's the magic of the book.
Well, and then I realized it's about the evolution of my awakening. You know,
Yay.
and it's and that's what seeing more meaning or more insights from just this chapter alone. And so my invitation to the participants online is to take a look at your life and see how you're witnessing this unfolding of cycles and the unfolding of your evolution and unfolding of the evolution of your family from the third dimensional living to weaving the third and the fourth dimension. I mean, for me, it's like my friends are asking me to do healing and prayers, you know. And I'm kind of going, at one point I go, oh my God, I need a book now to write down all the prayer requests. And so that's what family members are asking us for healing prayers
Yeah.
and things, you know.
That, when our family members ask for healing, that means it's critical.
But they know where to go.
Yeah.
They know an alternate way. And to me, that was a weaving of the third dimension of world, of just relying on the medical, physical world.
Yeah. They don't like
And the
talking to us
spiritual.
about it. But man, when they're in a critical state, they come to us, aunties, please pray.
When one family member texts us to go, okay, pray for blah, 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 and I'm going, whoa, okay.
Must be critical.
must be serious. And,
But you know, Gail, you are to me a miracle, because the past 2 years, even before Kahu left, you were like on a decline, and I would say we would keel you under the bowl, and I would also say I have to be intrigued. I said, will you hurry up and heal already?
Now, you said earlier, in your time, and it is your time.
Everything is
It's
in
the
their time.
Unfolding. Okay, let's go back to that quote.
We have to go
the
pretty soon.
unfolding of your cycles.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read that. The whole chapter.
This whole, and it's just this one portion, you know.
But you
and
know
it's
that the thing is you with the healer becomes the healee, and the student becomes a teacher, and vice versa. That cycle keeps going. You had to teach me that it's your own time, instead of saying, would you hurry up already, and heal. You gotta get moving, but it's in your own time, and because of that, I learned so much from you. So thank you for that, and you have blossomed as well. I love that word, blossom. Yes, and I hope from this program, by weaving the five senses together and putting that thread, the magical thread of the sixth sense, I know you will.
Ooh, I like that magical thread.
Magical thread of the sixth sense.
Yeah.
I know that you will be more aware of what you're doing here and the cycles that's in your favor, so to speak. Okay, so we're done almost. So we just have to end it. Thank you for being here. And I want to remind you what Kahu says. Let's see. We invite you to send your healing requests to join us this Sunday, because it's our Healing Sunday at the Honolulu Church of Light, also called The Beauty. Our healing focus would be the Creator is the creation of love itself. Can you see that? Can you say that? The Creator is the creation of love itself. Also, the Creator, the Creator, is the creation of love itself. Putting it another term. So we invite you this Sunday, come be with us, and let's be a community of all-knowing, said everything can be healed in love. I suggest that you read the whole chapter 9, Shifting into New Cycles, in the book. Even if you don't understand it firsthand, like Sue and me, it works on cellular level, and pretty soon it rise up, and you will be conscious about it. And so read it, and it'll give you a new perspective on what's coming up this year, and to prepare for 2025. So love makes us peaceful and prosperous. Remember to imagine a beautiful world for yourself, your family, and friends. Your imagination, listen to this, your imagination is your preview to your life's coming attraction. Careful of your thought. The third dimension and the fourth dimension is merging, so whatever you think is what is. It doesn't have any duality to it. It doesn't know whether, it just is. So if you don't like what you're created, just change your thought. We wish for you many opportunities to say Amazing Grace during this great shift in consciousness The shift is on, especially now that we're so in knowing about, we have the awareness of the cycles that's going on for us. And be like Kang Fred, he loved each day for the enlightenment he received. So be ever always thankful. Be the giving and the receiving of your love for yourself. So thank you for being here. Aloha. See you this Sunday. And join us in a community of healers, of knowing that everything can be healed in love. Mahalo.